Let's talk about everyone's favorite mutant, Wolverine. We all know how popular Wolverine is, right? But did you know that there are tons of secrets about this character waiting to be discovered within the pages of comic books from the last few decades? From his dirty perv act to heart-wrenching moment, Wolverine's evolution in the world of comics. Back in the day, Wolverine's original concept was quite different. He was supposed to be an angry teenager wearing gloves. Can you imagine? That wouldn't have made him the cultural icon he is today. But thanks to the legendary Frank Miller, who gave us awesome stories with Batman and Daredevil, Wolverine got the makeover he deserved. In the 80s, Miller's illustrations of Wolverine were inspired by none other than Clint Eastwood. Yep, the tough, rugged cowboy hero. This gave Wolverine that badass vibe that we all love. And guess what? This influence didn't stop there. Even in today's comics and movies, you can see the echoes of Eastwood's swagger in Wolverine's character. Remember the Wolverine movie? It's like a cool mix of samurai and cowboy vibes, just like Eastwood's classic westerns. So, next time you see Wolverine in action, think of him as the modern-day outlaw, just like Josie Wales. Wolverine takes on a whole new level of moral complexity. In this alternate universe, Wolverine isn't exactly the Boy Scout we're used to seeing. Nope, he's got some pretty loose morals. In one storyline, he actually joins the X-Men with the intention of taking out Professor Xavier, all on the orders of Magneto. Talk about a plot twist. He ends up delaying his mission because he's got eyes for the young Jean Grey. Yep, you heard that right. When Jean finds out Wolverine's true intentions, she's understandably furious. So what does she do? She switches Wolverine's and Spider-Man's brains. Classic comic book shenanigans. Am I right? What follows is a hilarious and slightly creepy series of events. With Wolverine and Spider-Man trapped in each other's bodies, it's chaos all around. But things get downright uncomfortable when Wolverine, in Peter Parker's body, tries to make a move on the 15-year-old Mary Jane. Yikes! Thankfully, they eventually get their minds back in the right bodies, but she asks Peter, "That thing you tried to do this morning, can we not do that till we're older?" Peter gives the glassy-eyed stare that most readers gave that story. Picture this: Ultron, Hank Pym's creation, goes rogue and takes over the world, leaving only a handful of heroes standing. That's the nightmare scenario our Marvel heroes face in this epic storyline. But fear not, because Nick Fury has a plan. He's got a time-traveling device and wants to use it to nip Ultron in the bud before he becomes a world-conquering menace. Sounds like a solid plan, right? Well, Wolverine has other ideas. Our favorite Claude hero decides to take matters into his own hands, literally. He figures the best way to stop Ultron is to prevent his creation altogether. So what does he do? He goes back in time and, wait for it, takes out Hank Pym. But here's where things get really interesting. Wolverine's actions create a crazy alternate future where technology battles against witchcraft. Talk about a mind-bending twist. But Wolverine isn't done yet. He jumps back in time again to stop his younger self from offing Hank Pym. It's like a time-traveling game of cat and mouse. In the end, Hank Pym manages to avert the dystopian future, but there's a catch. Wolverine's time-hopping escapades have caused some serious rifts in the space-time continuum. Now, we've got versions of the planet-eating Galactus running amok, and time travel is off the table. Looks like Wolverine's heroic efforts have left the universe in a bit of a pickle. But hey, that's just another day in the chaotic world of Marvel Comics. Did you know Wolverine actually had a son? Back in 1946, he had a wife who tragically met her end at the hands of the Winter Soldier. What's even more heartbreaking is that his wife was pregnant at the time, and their son survived, thanks to inheriting Wolverine's incredible healing powers. Now, here's where it gets really intense. As the son grew up, he harbored resentment towards his father and ended up using his healing abilities and claws for the evil purposes. And because Wolverine's life is all about battling evil, he ultimately had to face the heartbreaking reality of ending his own son's life by drowning him. Even remarkable healing factor couldn't save him from the irreversible brain death. Talk about a tragic and complex family history, right? It's moments like these that remind us that even our favorite superheroes have some seriously dark and emotional storylines to contend with. There was a time when Wolverine stepped up to lead the Uncanny X-Force, a covert team with a dark mission. Their job? To eliminate threats to mutants and humans alike, all while flying under the radar of the other X-Men. They were like the secret agents of the mutant world, taking out the bad guys in the shadows so the rest of the team could keep their hands clean. However, things took a dark turn when Wolverine's team made a decision that crossed the line. They killed a young boy who was believed to become the next Apocalypse, a notorious villain. This single act set off a chain of events that not only exposed the existence of their team but also put the entire world in jeopardy. Even Wolverine, known for his pragmatic approach, had to face the harsh truth. Sometimes, the ends don't justify the violent means. It was a tough lesson for the team and a reminder that even the toughest heroes have their limits. One of the most jaw-dropping moments in Wolverine's tumultuous history, his resurrection from actual death. Now, we all know Wolverine has a knack for surviving just about anything. I mean, the guy has been through the ringer, shot, stabbed, set on fire, you name it. He's even been split in half by the Hulk. But in one epic comic book issue, Wolverine takes his resilience to a whole new level. In Uncanny X-Men number 11, Wolverine finds himself in the midst of a high-stakes battle for control of a powerful alien gem. This gem isn't your average shiny bauble, it's a game-changer that could prove humanity's potential to the world. However, things take a turn for the worse when Wolverine faces off against some seriously fierce alien warriors. These extraterrestrial bad guys don't just give Wolverine a beating, they completely obliterate him, leaving almost nothing behind. But here's where it gets wild. A single drop of Wolverine's blood lands on the alien gem, triggering a mind-blowing transformation. The gem miraculously regenerates an entirely new Wolverine, ready to pick up the fight for humanity. When Wolverine Mother saw those bone claws and, sadly, it led to her tragic end. But here's the kicker. The Master of Magnetism decided to flex his powers and stripped away all the adamantium from Wolverine's body. Ouch! Wolverine's incredible healing factor saved him, but he was left seriously drained. And guess what happened next? During a routine training session in the Danger Room, his bone claws made a surprise appearance by ripping through his knuckles in a gory display. Back in 1974, Wolverine made his debut in The Incredible Hulk, squaring off against the Hulk himself. But here's the kicker, the Wolverine we know and love today was a far cry from the character Len Wein originally envisioned. Can you believe that Wolverine was initially just a mutant with heightened senses and a serious case of animal rage? That's right, his super healing powers weren't even part of the package at first. And get this, Wolverine was originally supposed to be a ferocious teenager sporting some seriously gnarly gloves for claws. It wasn't until later, when he joined the X-Men, that we got to see his true identity, a grizzled old mutant with an amazing regenerative ability. But wait, it gets even crazier. Some early ideas for Wolverine included giving him the strength of Spider-Man. Imagine Wolverine lifting cars like it's no big deal. And here's a real mindbender. There was even talk of Wolverine being a mutated Wolverine turned humanoid, kind of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If there's a major event from the past, chances are Wolverine had a front row seat. What makes it even crazier is that writers don't even have to worry about inconsistencies in his timeline. They can just chalk it up to the false memories implanted by the Weapon X program. Talk about convenient, right? Now, one of the coolest eras for Wolverine's adventures is World War II. Picture this, Wolverine, alongside a young Captain America and the tough-as-nails Major Ivan Petrovich, embarks on a mission to rescue none other than Black Widow herself. So, armed with his trusty claws and facing off against hordes of disposable ninjas, Wolverine swoops in to save the day for our favorite Russian secret agent in her sleek black attire. It's moments like these that remind us why Wolverine's adventures are always a wild ride through Marvel history. After a fallout with Cyclops, Wolverine actually steps up as the headmaster of Xavier's school. Yep, you heard that right. He's the one calling the shots, promoting education and peaceful coexistence among mutants. Sure, there were still some punches thrown at evil mutants now and then, but Wolverine believed in Xavier's vision of a peaceful mutant society. And get this, he even named the new school after the late Jean Grey, adding a dash of salt to his already rocky relationship with Cyclops. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe to get more content about your favorite superheroes from Marvel and DC characters. Until then, see you in the next one.